ever a traitor to myself I be.
Good evening. It's Friday. It's 7:30, and it's the opposition view. And in the Battle of the Mascots, I think Filbert Fox is definitely a winner, and Goonosaurus is a Gooner. Okay. Good evening. How are we all feeling? Hopefully, very good after last night. A great win, back to form, and a great performance, which is even more. And how are you doing? It's the opposition view, as I say, tonight. We're back to Premier League action on Sunday, 7:15 kickoff, and we are against bit of a bogey team for us at the moment, Arsenal. We have played them 144 times since both teams were formed, and they do have the old cross over us. We've lost 67 of those, 46%, and we've only won 32. Maybe it is time to change that. We've obviously played them once this season losing, and we've got them again, like I said, for the second time back in the league on Sunday. A couple of posts here. Good evening, Roy. Hope you're well. And also, again, good evening. Don't know who that is. Say good evening to Facebook users. If you are watching on Facebook, which is the only place you can watch at the moment, please click in and sign in to StreamYard. Doesn't cost anything. You don't have to download anything. It just brings your name up like with Roy there. Otherwise, I am saying hello, Facebook user, all the time. I'm going to say hello to somebody else now, and that is the Arsenal fan who's very kindly joined us this evening, and that is Ali. So let's say good evening, Ali.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well, very happy after last night. How are you?
Well, last night wasn't as good for us, but we still won, so I'll take it.
You did. Oh, you've got to take it. You've got to take a win, haven't you? You know, it's. I think I will just explain to everybody that Ali is going to be extremely nice to me now, all show, and not say anything derogatory about Leicester City because he is my daughter's boyfriend. So
I am.
You are for your sins. And I've just got one question: when are you going to marry her and take her off my hands?
I've got the ring waiting. Hopefully she's not watching.
I won't tell her that. I promise you. That's between you and me. Thing is, he knows he's safe because she's gone out tonight. You know, but just saying there, you have got this thing over us. You know, we do seem to struggle to beat Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't know if it's you guys that struggle or it's just Arsenal that always turns up against Leicester for some reason. Even when you won the title. Well, we were the only team that beat you both times, right?
Yeah, yes. And I remember, I'm just going to show this. I wasn't going to bring this up till later, but whenever I think of Arsenal, I always think of one thing. And I'm just going to take us out now and bring this picture up. And that is the picture that I know was put up in the Leicester dressing room for the rest of the season. And I always look at that and think, yeah, two words spring to mind: cocky sods, to be honest with you.
Oh, most of them are gone now, thank God.
You've still got Ozil, but we'll
get on that one.
We'll come on to him later. He did say you've got plenty to say about him. But we do like playing you, though. I mean, I did a thing for the website, LeicesterTillIDie.com, and we actually have our highest attendance each season. It's more against Arsenal than any other team, and that's at home. So we obviously like coming out to watch you.
Yeah, I always feel like they're good games, to be honest. Like, whenever Arsenal Leicester play, I feel like it can always go either way, especially this weekend.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're both. You got a. Was it? I'm trying to think of the score. Was it 6-1 the other week? And who was it against? Oh, Spurs, I do believe, was it not? Was it Spurs?
What wasn't that?
That was Man United,
United.
wasn't it? That was Man
Yeah,
United. Oh,
United.
they play in red as well, you see. But
Yeah.
so what's your season been like so far?
So far, it's been pretty good, to be honest. Like you can see, Arteta's definitely doing. He's doing something for the team. He's, in my opinion, a lot better than Emery was.
Hmm.
But we'll see because it's still early days. But I mean, we've done well in even the Man City game the other week that we lost. I think we weren't that bad. I mean, once upon a time we'd have got smashed, but like we had a few good chances, and on a different day we could have got something from that game.
I mean, that was only a 1-0 loss, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I felt for Emery because I think it's like the same with Moyes at United and the guy that followed O'Neill at Leicester. When you're following somebody, and I know he kind of left under a cloud, but Wenger had been there so long and he had done a hell of a lot for the club, and I've got to be honest with you, he created some teams that, if we weren't playing Leicester, were nice to watch. It's almost like a poison chalice taking over, isn't it?
Yeah, like I think anybody that comes in after a manager that's been there so long would have struggled. But I never really rated Emery. Like when he came, I started to believe because we were unbeaten for like 22 games.
Yeah.
He went on a great run, and then the wheels sort of came off. But for me, when Emery got appointed, the first thing I was thinking about is, I don't know if you remember, in the Champions League, PSG against Barcelona, they were leading 4-1, and then they went away to Barcelona and threw that lead away and lost 6-1. So for me, that always made me doubt Emery's ability.
I mean, it was a good start, but of course, you're only as good as your last games and your last season.
Yeah.
A lot of teams cited us that we got rid of Ranieri after he just won us the title. But it's a harsh game, football. It's a harsh game.
Yeah.
And again, just looking sort of since we came back to the Premier League and the in 14-15. We've won 3. We've lost 7 to you. It's almost like an extra celebration when we're actually able to beat you.
Yeah, I mean, you've improved a lot. In my opinion, I'd say even your team now might be better than the title-winning team.
Really?
Like, you might disagree, but like, I don't know, like, you seem to have a lot more about you, whereas obviously I don't know Leicester as in depth, but like back then it seemed like it was Vardy, Mahrez, and Kante. But now, like, it feels like you have more of a team, and like you're ready to become like at least a top 6 club, maybe even pushing top 4.
I think it's always, thank you for those kind words. You can marry my daughter. No, I mean my mate Ollie, who did the online opposition view. He said he could see Leicester as being one of those teams that could actually go on and win the Europa League. When we're on our day, we can play sublime football. I mean, you look at Southampton 9-0 last season, but then you look at how we finished the season. And I think breaking into the top 6 is hard because I don't think the top 6, obviously the top 6 clubs want to stay there. But I think for me, it's a case of let's make it a top 7. Or Everton coming in a top 8. I think you can expand it. I mean, last season, Arteta came in December for you. I think after you did you go for Rodgers before that, or I think he was linked with you.
To a few managers.
Yes,
but I think we settled on Arteta in the end.
Yeah, and I must admit, sorry. No, I was just going to say, I think I was surprised at your choice. I mean, I know he was an ex-player, but he wasn't a name manager, was he? He
Yeah,
hadn't got
it
any
was a
manager
surprising choice,
experience.
especially
Manager experience.
especially after I think we were in 10th when he came in.
Mm.
I was surprised to see like them take another risk considering the position they were in, but
Mm.
hopefully it's working well so far.
I think if you are given time, because I don't think Arteta was. I mean, he came in and yes, let's be honest, he won you the FA Cup, so it wasn't a bad first season at all, and he got you into the Europa League.
Yeah,
But he is rebuilding. And I think sometimes clubs forget, and we've been doing that as well. You win something like Leicester won the Premier League, and you immediately think like every year we're gonna be up there,
yeah,
and
challenge.
it's not. You have to sometimes rebuild, and I know Man United did it very well, in without seeming to be a blip. But sometimes you do have to take a season back, don't you?
Yeah, like, especially when certain players getting older,
Mm.
teams has a lot of dead wood.
Yeah, I mean, let's have. I mean, let's have a look. I mean, as we stand at the moment, I mean, we lost to you in the League Cup.
Yeah,
I never like losing, but let me just I said to you before, I wasn't crying into my soup that night. Knowing what
yeah,
we got, and we had made I think 11 changes for that
yeah. The
for
League
that
Cup is
game.
just chance for some youngsters to come through.
And I don't think we embarrassed ourselves. I mean, it was only sort of 2-0 at the end of the day.
Yeah,
But it is a top. I mean, we're fourth at the moment. You're fifth. But do you see? I mean, you've just played midweek. We've just played midweek. Thankfully, it's
yeah.
not till Sunday night. A lot of changes for you.
I don't think so. I think well, Aubameyang will definitely start instead of coming off the bench like he did in that game. But I think Pepe he started the Europe game. I don't know if he'll start for the Leicester game
I mean,
because
sorry, carry on.
yeah, carry on.
No, I was just going to say the good news for us is obviously Vardy should be back.
Yeah,
he always does well against Arsenal.
against our defense. I mean,
Yeah.
the game we were playing against Rapid Vienna. If it was even a slightly better team, we could have easily got punished. I mean, Rapid Vienna, they had one of their players was on loan from Barnsley, so that's
Mm.
the sort of level they're at, like. So that's why it might be a bit tough to play Leicester, especially with our defense.
Well, I mean, we've got. Last night we've got so many players out at the moment, and I know I always used to sort of moan when the Wengers and the Fergusons and whatever. We always used to complain, oh, we've got so many injuries, but we've got the spine of our team was out last night. Vardy, thankfully, he's coming back. Pierre, he was fantastic at right back. He sort of, he shouldn't be too far off coming back, but he's been out sort of 6 months. Soyuncu, who's brilliant, been brilliant for 3 months. Ndidi, who looked like he was, well, he still is probably going to be the Kanté replacement, but it did affect us. But I think now, when you look at last night and you look at the start we made to the season, and last night, I'm going to be honest with you, I was looking because I'd forgotten there was 5 subs. I just thought, what are they bringing these players on? Is it roll on, roll off here? But we were in a nice position, and I don't know if you were or not, because obviously I didn't watch the game. We were in a nice position at 3-0 up. That come 75 minutes, we could make the changes. We did take the Madisons off and players, and Pratt and players that were coming off that we could rest. Really, give them a bit of a break, ready for Sunday. Were you able to do that against Vienna? Or?
Yeah. He went with a bit more negative than I thought he would because we had two holding mids against a team from a league that would probably be below the championship. So that was surprising to see, but. I think I probably he might go for a 3-5-2 against Leicester because I think we'll need the defensive capability, but I don't think we'll be able to break down, especially if Soyuncu's if he's on
No,
his
he's not.
day.
He's not going to be playing. He is definitely out. Yes.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he definitely out?
He's
Oh,
out.
okay.
He's out for 3 months, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yes.
for three. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But
Okay.
we have got Fofana, who's obviously we've just bought and has
Yeah.
had two totally unbelievable games. I mean, so much so, and I'm not sure who this is, but they've just said here Arsenal will be after Fofana next season. You have got a reputation, Arsenal, amongst Leicester fans of, not only buying Leicester or going after Leicester players all the time.
I mean,
Somebody else here says, have Arsenal got their mojo back?
got their mojo back.
You know.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Arsenal, like the team, play like this for years. And it might not be showing too much with the results at the moment, but the way they work for each other, and they chase after the ball, they press, they play out from the back. It reminds me of when Pep first went to Man City.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, but when he first went to Man City, they'd make mistakes all the time at the back, and Arsenal now look like the mistakes they're making is almost identical to that. Like the goalkeeper making a lot of mistakes. So
Yeah.
I hope it progresses the same way Pep did, but we'll see. And obviously, Arteta was his assistant, so maybe he learned a thing or two.
Well, I just hope he learned how to have bad defenses from Sunday and let us have a few. It's going to be be interesting. I think it will also sort of. I mean, we said the big game was the Man City one for us, and 5-2 for us was like beyond our wildest dreams. So this will be, yes, we played West Ham, we've played Villa, we had a couple of losses against teams that we probably should have expected. But that's the Premier League at the moment. Anybody can beat anybody out there.
I'd say it's probably one of the craziest Premier Leagues I've ever seen in my life, anyway. Like the top 9 teams, any of them could get into this top 6. Like you have Wolves, Everton, Leicester, they're all coming in. Like it looks like it, and with Van Dijk getting injured at Liverpool, I think the title's up for grabs now.
Yes, I don't think any team's a one-man team, but he certainly helps go along to that. Discussed before, a couple of people I want to sort of discuss, and we have touched on your manager before, but Arteta, like I say, he's done. He looks like he's going to be the man there for quite a few years. He obviously loves the club. Will he be given the time though?
I think so, but more importantly, will he be given the money? Because personally, I think Arteta's going to the top with or without Arsenal. I think if Arteta had money, he could do a lot more, especially if he had the kind of money Pep has at Man City. And I was watching this breakdown of what Arteta did at Man City, and do you know how Sterling was quite rubbish for a while, and then under Pep he became a great player? Apparently Arteta had a big role in that. Pep would do the tactical work and the team-wide work, and Arteta would work with individual players. He worked on Sterling's attacking movement, and Pep said he has one of the most intelligent analysis brains in football that he's ever seen. So I think Arteta is going to be very good, but it depends if Arsenal back him with the money and time he needs.
They're certainly spending more money recently than they, did under Wenger sometimes. Talking of spending money and talking of leading on to sort of players on high wages and not necessarily earning them. And I think you probably know where this is going. The one and only Mesut Ozil. I mean, what I know, I've actually put on my notes next to the name Ozil, just WTF. I mean, what? I mean, he was an absolutely world-class player. He's a World Cup winner with Germany. He's won the Champions League with different teams. I mean, what's happened with him?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things. Firstly, I'll be honest, Ozil was let down by Arsenal. Same with Wenger, especially that season that you won the league. Ozil, he should have broke the assist record, but Giroud and Iwobi, they forgot how to play football. They forgot how to shoot the ball, and we just didn't have the goals. I think Ozil was let down a lot by his teammates during his time at Arsenal. I mean, do you remember him at Real Madrid when he was playing with Ronaldo and
Exactly.
Higuain?
Exactly.
He was
Yeah.
amazing. Also, I think it's Ozil's role in football, that sort of lazy kind of number 10. I think that's the days of that are kind of gone.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a role for that anymore in football. I think now is such a high intensity game. You need every single man to run, to press. For example, Ceballos, he doesn't have the creativity or the technical ability of Ozil, but he presses hard because nowadays, if you don't have a man pressing, it's like you're down to 10 men.
Mm.
I think Ozil's
We
role.
feel like that every time Perez goes on the pitch, yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah, I think it's just Ozil's role in football as well. It's
Can
played
that
in a
not
way.
be adapt? Can he not? I mean, he's on so much money to be sat on there doing, and nobody can afford to take him.
Yeah, I
even
mean,
even on loan, you'd have to go 50-50 on his wages or something.
well, if he cared about football and playing so much, he's
Mm,
free to go somewhere else. I mean, they'd still pay him like 150 a week. That's
yeah,
ridiculous money.
yes.
Even 100 a week. I mean, I'd take 10 grand a week, 5 grand a week. But
Some of us would take that a year, mate.
yeah, like
But in fairness, and he obviously has got a heart because, and I don't know whether this went through or not, but the old Gunnosaurus that we mentioned before,
yeah,
Ozil may be on more, than that guy can earn in his lifetime. You sacked your mascot. I mean, how is he still sacked? Have you taken him back? Is Ozil still going to pay his wages?
I don't think
These are the questions people want to know.
I haven't really said anything much more about it. It's the Gunnosaurus thing, I think, was embarrassing.
Mhm.
Especially like in today's age where like publicity is everything for these clubs. Did they not have like a PR manager that could see
Mm.
what a disaster sacking your mascot is? But we've
Yeah,
also laid off a lot of the staff, which is sad. Meanwhile, Ozil's on
you did.
350 grand a week.
Yep,
I mean, 10 seconds of his wages would have probably been enough to cover them for a few
yep,
months. But
yeah. I think this is the thing with football. I mean, we've got really nice owners, probably the owners that
yeah,
every club out there would love to have. They've not,
for
as far as
sure.
I know, still haven't furloughed any staff or anything like that, and they seem to get it right. But I think when you look at, we've just had a January transfer window where there's been over £1 billion spent by Premier League clubs, and yet we're sacking a dinosaur.
Yeah,
It
it's
I
sad.
mean it is definitely sad, and they want more money because, of course, they're talking about this Europa League or
Oh, the
this Super League.
European Super League.
Yes, I mean, as an Arsenal fan, you're obviously going to be in that.
But I mean, if we're in that, then if this European Super League was to become a thing and we were in it, we'd probably be fighting relegation battles with
Mm.
Ajax and Leipzig every year.
Yeah. But I remember you saying to me, probably when we first met, and that Arsenal is one of the most expensive teams to go and watch. And if probably the worst away trip for you is probably going to be, say, Newcastle. But if you've got an away trip to Madrid one week, Lisbon the next, wherever, you've got traveling, you've got days off work, you've got flights, you've got hotels. For the first season, it's a bit like a Champions League thing, but
Yeah,
week in, week out, that's kind of it's pricing fans out of football.
I mean, I think that's the final nail in the coffin for fans, especially of their local club. Fans that have been following the club for a long time. I think that's just purely to attract tourists and
Yes.
people in other countries.
Yeah.
I think it's a stupid idea, to be honest.
Well, it's been muted for as long as almost the Premier League's been going. So
Yeah.
at least the big picture thing got kicked out on its
Oh
arse.
yeah.
But I mean, I think you had a good transfer window. I mean, you look at ours and fans are never happy. You bring 10
Yeah.
players in, they want 11. And I can remember one season, I think it was when we had Martin Allen, and he went out and he bought like 11 players. I think we had something like 6 left-sided midfielders. He just went out. It was like a kid in a candy shop. Our transfer window, we've got Castagna in, we've got Under in, and we've got Fofana in. It's been quality rather than quantity. Would you describe your window the same?
As was a good window, apart from the one thing I think we really needed was a creative midfielder like Awa plays for Lyon. I think we needed him. We needed a creative midfielder. I think Ceballos. I don't think he has the creativity. We needed sort of a mix between Ceballos and Özil. I think that's what we needed.
Yeah,
I think that will show that we lack the creativity in the side. I mean, if only we had a player on 350 grand a week that's known for his creativity.
Who could that be? But then again, I mean, just thinking about it, this season, it's been quite a comeback season for Leicester players because we've had Slimani, who was literally out the window. He's been on loan for the last 3 seasons. Who's never going, and he's back in the squad because and you can. Well, we won't go into that about how well he played when he did come on the pitch, but Mendy, he was the guy that was brought in to be the replacement for Kante. And he started off and he got injured and he was out for so long. Indeed, he came in. Indeed, he was brilliant. He was on the point of leaving and we offered him a year's contract because of injuries. And he went off to think about it. He actually signed the contract, stayed with it. And he has been bloody brilliant, to put it politely.
I wanted Ndidi. I think it was like a season or 2 ago. I thought he would have been perfect for Arsenal. He was what we needed.
But what I'm saying is that Mendy's come back in from nowhere because indeed he's injured. So there's hope yet for Ozil.
I mean, now he's been left out of the squad, so I don't think he can even play if he wanted to in the Prem.
350 grand, not even to be in the squad. Okay, But Party, I mean, everybody's sort of saying, and Gabriel, your colleague would say who did the written.
Party and Gabriel,
loved him.
They were 2 solids, especially Gabriel. If Gabriel keeps going the way he is, I mean, we probably won't have him much longer. Let's just say that.
Yes,
I think he's really impressed me this season. I'd say he's been our best defender so far, and he's only 22. Like he's playing like he's been playing at the top for 10 years.
It's amazing how some players can come in. It's like to say Fofana. I was really worried. He came in against Villa and he absolutely had Watkins in his pocket. Some players just come into the side and they just take to it like ducks to water, don't they? So who should we be worried about then?
Well, the big man.
You're going to say all 11 players, aren't you?
Well, the big man himself, number 40, Aubameyang. You should probably stick 3 or 4 men on him. Saka, if he plays, I rate him quite highly. He's only 19, but he looks to be, especially in the City game, he was one of our best one of our best players going forward.
Yeah. And
Party.
Oh, sorry, carry on.
Party, I think. I mean, some Arsenal fans getting, I think, a bit too excited. The new Vieira, and we'll see. He was great. He was pretty good last night, but if he plays against Leicester, he might just have Vardy in his pocket. We'll see.
Whoa, that's Dangerous thing to say. Dangerous thing to say. So is it Vardy that obviously you're most worried about? Anybody else on the Leicester side that you look like, oh, he could, worry us?
For me, I'd just say Vardy. As we wanted to sign him once as well. Do you
You
remember there
did.
was that,
You
that
did.
saga that went on, and then he ended up signing a contract for Leicester?
The thing is, though, I think if he had come, and I think that was at the time when Roy Hodgson was picking him for England, and you can't just pick a player and then not play to his strengths. And we've said this with our own players, like when Slimani came on, we were still playing as if he was Vardy. And Hodgson used to play Vardy out on the left, and I don't think Arsenal were the team for Vardy. You didn't play, Vardy's strengths, and I think had he come to Arsenal, and I'm not just saying, and I think it would have been the same with a lot of other teams as well. At Leicester, we say, right, when Vardy's playing, we're almost saying, right, you give the ball to Vardy, or you play to Vardy. He is the main man, and he wouldn't have been anywhere else. And I'm glad he didn't go to you, and he did win the Golden Boot last season. I won't rub that in, but Maddison is back. I mean, he played bit parts against. I say bit parts might be a bit unfair, but he came on against Villa and West Ham. He didn't play full games, but he played a good 80 minutes last night. Was taken off, I think, to rest him for Arsenal. He's got a cracker against Man City. I'd be a little bit worried about him as well if I was you.
Yeah, I mean, Maddison was the kind of player I think we needed. Other player that we needed just more creativity in midfield that I just don't think we have.
No.
But we'll see what Partey has to offer. I'm excited. We'll see, but
it's one of those seasons. Anything can and probably will happen.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like I couldn't even give you a score prediction for Sunday.
Oh, that's going to be that was my last question. Now I will come back to that, and I will tie you down to a score prediction. And only because if you lose, I will be all over your Facebook. Hopes for Arsenal this season.
Hopes for Arsenal this season. Top 4. But top 4, either top 4 or winning the Europa League. I'd take either. I think.
Right.
I think that would be a good season.
Yeah.
But top 4 is going to be extremely difficult.
I think it is this season. I think Everton they spent huge, which they've done before and fallen flat on the face. But they've got the manager in. Great
manager.
Yeah.
Albert Lewin now
he is. Yeah, he's doing well. And thoughts on what do you think Leicester could achieve this season?
Leicester, I think they should at least get top 6. At least, maybe top 4.
Were you surprised how we fell away last season?
Yeah, I thought you'd stay in it for longer. I thought you'd for sure make top 4. I'm surprised. Was it United that knocked you out of the top 4?
United on the last day. Well, it wasn't just that one game, obviously, because we should have been miles ahead long before that. But it happened, I think, around the Christmas time. I think when we lost to Liverpool 4-0, and then we drew or lost to Norwich. But it was the manner in which we lost to Liverpool. But do you think you've said you can win the Europa League? Your fellow Arsenal fan Ollie on the website thinks Leicester wouldn't be a bad shout to win it. Do you think Leicester will do well in the Europa League? We've had a nice draw. I've got to be honest with you. The group's been very kind.
Should do well in the Europa League. I think there's a couple good teams in the Europa League this year.
Yeah.
Any of them could be Arsenal, Leicester,
and I think it all comes down to whoever comes down from the Champions League as well. Of course,
Yeah, there's that as well.
Well, Ali, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I will tell my daughter you've been very kind and very nice. And but I am before you go. I am going to tie you down to a prediction. I must admit, I have gone for 2-2 draw.
Okay, I was thinking either 2-1 or 2-2.
2-1 to Leicester, of course. That's what you think, is it? Well, you didn't say who. You didn't say who. But Ali, thanks very much, mate, for joining us. And I
No
would
worries.
say, I'd say good luck for Sunday, but I really wouldn't mean it. But
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1. 2-1 to Arsenal.
oh, I've tipped you over the edge, have I? Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
score 2.
Well, we shall see. One of us will no doubt be riling the other one up come Monday morning. Hey, but thanks. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Look after that daughter of mine, and good luck for the rest of the season after Sunday. Cheers, mate. And thank you to everybody who's joined us. I hope you've enjoyed the show. That was Ali, the Arsenal fan there. Always good to have them on and see what fans of opposing teams think of us. If you've missed any of the show or you nipped to the toilet at all and missed bits, you'll be able to pick it up on YouTube. It'll be up there in about 15 minutes on Leicester Till I Die TV. And if you want to subscribe to any of the Leicester Till I Die social media sites, again on YouTube, if you're watching it, they're all underneath there and they'll be in the closing video in a minute. We're going to be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock with the special, when you're going to get all 4 bloggers together, me, Brad, Craig and Mark, and we'll be hoping you'll join us and talking about your first ever Leicester City games that you went to see live and how it was for you. And then, of course, post the Arsenal match, hopefully celebrating, I'll be back with my post-match chum, Brad, and that'll be a late one on Sunday night. Don't go shopping with the missus on Saturday afternoon. No football on that's worth anything. Join us here 3 o'clock on Saturday, like I say, for the first match special. And whatever you decide to do, guys, remember, please stay safe. Good night now.